Hi Flosstube friends, it's Lorraine with Rags to Stitches USA. Today is Wednesday, June 10th, and I recorded a video on the 1st, I think it was, and I just have not been able to upload the video, and so instead of re-recording it, I'm just gonna add a couple of things to it, and my son is still home from school, so he's going to help me edit this together. Hopefully it won't be too much of a spliced up mess, but I did want to show you a few things. I'm going to be taking a couple of things to work and won't be able to show you those anymore, so I wanted to be sure to show you those. So I'll go ahead and get started with that. It's down in the pile, so I may show you a couple of other things first. The first thing, I had talked about this in my other video last week, but I finished it since then. So I was working on the Fragments in Time by Summerhouse Stitchworks. I was going to be putting a couple of these little fragments into a sewing box that I have. And so I finished those two pieces. Here's one of them. Here's the second one. And the first one, this is the sewing box that I'm wanting to put them in. And so it had an old piece of yucky tapestry that was there and some old foam that I felt like needed to be replaced. So this is where these will go. So I got some new foam, and I tried to stick this back down in here, and I think I need something other than my butter knife that I was trying to do this with. I was trying to get a butter knife and jab it down in there. That wasn't quite getting it, so I need some other kind of little tool to, once I put the foam down and put this, so that I can put the edges down in there and secure them real good. Except it'll go that way. But anyway, this is, it's going to be, I just think it's going to be darling. And the Fragments in Time are the perfect size for this. And I just think it's so cute. And I can put my little necessities down in here and keep it sitting by my stitchy chair. And so I did want to show you that. That was the Fragments in Time by Summerhouse Stitchworks. Another little thing that I just ran across. I found it in an old project bag, and I forgot that I'd stitched this, and I never fully finished it. It's still not fully finished, but it's finished enough that I can show you. This was the Quaker Pumpkin by Stitchy Box. And I don't remember when we did this. It was probably at least a couple of years ago. There were several of us that were stitching on this together, and I want to say it was like a challenge or something. I don't even remember, but I do know that Melanie Smith had offered, if you finished your piece, she had offered to, I think, draw a name and send someone some hand-woven fabric that she had made to finish it with. And so I was the lucky recipient of a piece of her hand-woven fabric. And I think it's just beautiful. So this is my little piece that I stitched. And then this is the hand-woven fabric. Isn't that beautiful? Oh, I think it's so pretty. So I don't have it stuffed yet. I left an opening there so I can stuff it, but I've got to get some stuffing. But I wanted to show you that. Thank you, Melanie. I just love it. I love it. And I'll probably do some sort of, I may do some sort of trim around the edge as well. But I'll need to find something that will match that. I think I showed you that in the last video. I think I showed this. Oh, this is the thing that I need to take back to work. Okay, so I had talked in my previous video about a little chart I was doing called Project Quarantine by Brenda Gervais. Let's Stay Home and Stitch. And I think it's adorable. I got that finished. It's not fully finished yet, but I did finish stitching it. So I plan on fully finishing this tonight, and I will take it to the shop tomorrow. But I wanted to go ahead and show you the stitching on it. I think that turned out sweet. So there'll be more of that, I'm sure, in the video that you're about to see. I think that may be all that I really wanted to catch you up on. Good morning, friends. This is Lorraine with Rags to Stitches USA. Today is Monday, June 1st. Can't believe it's June already. This year has really flown by. I know a lot of people thought that the first part of the year was really dragging, but this whole year has flown by. I'm still not used to writing 2020. But it is June 1st. It's going to be a beautiful day. I am looking forward to today, what today might hold. I don't have much time for a video, but I have something that I need to take into the shop. And I had made a shop model, and so I wanted to film that before I did. And I thought, well, I'll just do a quick video. So I'll just get started, and I might as well show you this right off the bat so I can get it out of the way. I have needed to take this into the shop since before the shutdown, and I'm just now getting my act together and getting it into, finding it and getting into the shop. So anyway, this is a little project bag made from the book Patchwork Picnic by Gracie Larson. And this book reminds me a lot of Lori Holt's books in that she has a lot of these individual little quilt blocks that you can make either 6-inch or 12-inch blocks. Isn't that cute? And make different little projects out of. Of course, you can make a quilt out of it, but you could also make table runners and pin cushions and hot pads and project bags. And so I took a couple of the blocks from her book. This was a block, and this was a block, and made a little project bag out of it. And I wanted to show this because I know there are a lot of quilters in Flosstube, and a lot of times you'll have little orphan blocks, and so it would be really sweet to turn them into little project bags. This one is a little larger than what I normally make. This particular pattern was in that book, and they give you options for a small, medium, and a large, and this one was the large. But I thought it was really sweet. This fabric is from the line Canning Day by Moda. So anyway, oh, I just realized I forgot to put my little zipper pull on it. Oh well, that's okay. So anyway, this will be going to the shop today. I also made another project bag that I've already taken to the shop, and it was cross-stitched. I made a video of that before I took those in, and so I will insert that right here. So we got these bags into the shop, and I just thought they were adorable. And it's from It's So Emma, and it's a 3-piece project bag set. And I'm just going to show you the back here. It shows the dimensions on here, but I'm just going to get the little tag thing off. So it comes with a gray, a pink, and a turquoisey teal color, and those are the dimensions of the bags. I can't tell if y'all can see those or not. So when we first got the first thing I thought, well, actually, I saw these, I don't remember where I saw them, advertised somewhere. And when I saw them, I thought, oh, those would be adorable, cross-stitched, with something cross-stitched on them. And so Matha ordered them for the shop, and they must have come in during the quarantine period because I just saw them for the first time last week and I loved it. I just thought, yep, I think those would be adorable cross-stitched. So I took the smallest one, the gray one, which measures 8 by 10.5 by 2.5. It does have a wide bottom. All three of them do. So this is the smallest one, 8 by 10.5. And when I first saw them, I thought, oh, that would be really cute monogrammed. So I cross-stitched my initial. I just think it turned out sweet, don't you? I love it. Now I will, if you guys decide that you want to do these, I will give you a couple of tips. The first is the little gingham print on here is not always straight with the grid of the, these are made out of like a plastic, a very soft plastic. I don't know what you would actually call the material. I don't think it tells me. But it's not always lined up exactly with the grid. So if you were doing a project like I had, this was a free printable that I found somewhere when I clicked on free alphabet cross stitch. So I printed this out as a freebie. I printed out a few more to do on the larger bags. But since I had the initial L, on a couple of them, they were very straight, blockish L's, which I thought would be really cute. One of them had a vine going through it, and I can't remember what the other one was. But if I were to have cross-stitched that on this bag, if the L was slightly off, I mean, if the print was slightly off, then it would have, I think it would have looked a little odd. So I'm glad I didn't choose to do the blocky one on this bag. So that might be something to keep in mind when you choose the design to put on your bag. The other thing is the weave. I don't know if okay, yeah, you can see that. The weave, oh, and you can probably see right here. I don't know if you can, let me see if I can follow this on down. So you can see how the gray is further apart from the line here than it is up at the top here. So you can see how the gray kind of goes off to the side. Okay, the other thing is that each square that you cross stitch over is not exactly square. It's a little bit wider than it is long, which is not that big of a deal unless you've got something that needs to be square. But this L wound up being just a little bit squattier and wider than the pattern showed. And it turned out fine for this. And I think for most things it would, but just be mindful of that when you choose whatever design it is that you want to put on your bag. But I think it's just adorable. Okay, this is the smallest size. This is the medium, which is probably about the typical size of a cross stitch of a project bag for most of us cross stitchers. And this might even be the size of some of the smaller bags. I mean, you can see how big it is in relation to my head, and I've got a big head, y'all. And then this is the largest bag, which is quite generous. So, and it has the wide bottom to it. See, so it, when stuffed, it would probably stand up. All three of these are like that. So I just wanted to share these with you. I think they're just adorable. And again, it's Gingham on the Go, 3-piece project bag set. Isn't it sweet? I think so. I just remembered that I forgot. I remembered that I forgot to announce the name of the person that I'm going to be sending the lavender and lace piece to. In my last video, I had shown this piece that someone had passed on to me, but I'm not going to be stitching this because it's just, while it's beautiful, it's just not something that I think that I would complete. And so it's a lavender and lace piece called, I think it's called Celtic Winter, Celtic Christmas. Celtic Christmas. So this is the piece. It's almost finished. I don't know if you can see it. I haven't taken it out of the paper. Plastic. Celtic Christmas. And so I drew a name for that. And that winner is Elizabeth Thompson. So Elizabeth, I am going to put a comment underneath your comment on my last video. And if you will, just get in touch with me. You can find me on Instagram, or if you don't have Instagram, you can just make a comment under your comment telling me how I can get in touch with you and get your address and get this sent out to you. So thank you so much, Elizabeth. I hope you enjoy working on that. Okay. I have worked on quite a few things, a little bit. I haven't really focused on any one thing really, and I haven't done a lot of stitching since my last video, but I have done a little bit, so I'll show you a few of the things that I've worked on. One of the things that I showed in my last video was a little project that I had picked up at market, and I was almost finished with it, and it was the floral Fitbit from Avley, I think. Why I'm shaking, I haven't had my coffee yet. So I finished that, and it needs a little press, but isn't that sweet? So I just need to fully finish that, which I think is just going to entail turning the edges under, and there you go. So that will be sitting on my table soon. I try to stitch 30 minutes every day. That doesn't always happen, and a lot of times that's the only stitching I get in during the day. But I do try to stitch for those 30 minutes a day, and I kind of try to stick with one project for a while on the 30 minutes, at least for a week. And so at my last video, I was showing you how I was going to, oh, and I didn't bring them in here with me. I was going to be working on the Fragments in Time from Summer House Stitch Works. And so I had started on that in my last video, and I got those guys finished. I'm going to be fully finishing these onto a little sewing box that I have, and I'll show that in my next video because I just bought the foam to go in it yesterday, or day before yet. Anyway, I finished these guys, and so on the sewing box it opens up like this, and so there's going to be two sections for the stitching. So that's the first section, and that'll be the second section. They're just really sweet, and I think it's going to be I think I'm going to enjoy having that little sewing box sitting by me to keep all my stitching necessities in. Another thing that I have been working on recently is going to be another little shop model. This is Project Quarantine, Stay Home and Stitch by With Thy Needle and Thread. This is my little working copy here. I love that. There is some over one in this. This section is over one, and some parts of this is over one. I can't remember exactly what. I know this is over one because I've been working on that. And I don't know if you can see that or not. That's the over one part. This is being stitched on 36 count Patriot's Brew. And I love stitching on 36 count. I just don't think I've ever stitched over one on 36 count. And it really wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. It really wasn't, and I think it's so pretty. I don't know if you can really get a good, I don't think it's focusing very well. Let me see if I can try something else. Focus. Oh well. Y'all get the idea. So the over one part I think is going to be the most time consuming. So now that I've got that finished, I think the rest of it should go fairly quickly. So that'll be fun to have that little pillow and that little remembrance of this time that we have. Here again, I've not worked very much on this, but I've got a little bit of an advancement. And this is Baby It's Cold Outside. I'm stitching this on 36 count Ale. And I think the last time I showed this, I didn't have the house finished, but now the house is complete. I love that house. Isn't that pretty? I just love that. So that hopefully will be getting some attention, some more attention this week. Oh, I know another one that I just realized I didn't bring over here. I think I'll pause. Okay. Thankfully, my son is still home. He came home from school. This was his senior year, and he came home from school and graduated at home. Got his diploma. I'm so proud of him and all those cords. I really am very proud of him. But anyway, he was supposed to have started his new job he was supposed to have left the last part of May. And then that got bumped to the last part of June. So we were going to have him home for a little while. And now it looks like it may be several months before he gets to leave. And I'm sad for him, but I'm happy for us because I love having him around. So he's going to be able to help me edit this, I hope. I'm going to try to do it by myself, but I'm going to let him look over my shoulder. Anyway, the one that I went to grab was the LW Motif sampler. I know y'all have seen that one. It's really hard to see because the lettering and the numbers are very pale. And I'm doing mine on a darker piece of fabric. And for the life of me, I can't tell you what it is. Did I write it down? I don't know. I'll look and see if I can't find that. And maybe I'll put it across the bottom of the screen if I can find out, if I can remember what I'm stitching on here. But this is my progress on that. I just have started this not long ago, so, and I haven't done a lot of work on it. The pink is just barely showing up on this. Of course, it barely shows up on the model as well. So I can't decide whether I want to take that out, because see that V there in the middle? That's going to be the entire alphabet. And here's the pink numbers that I've already done. See, they're very pale. So I can't decide if I should take that out. What do y'all think? I just don't know. So tell me what y'all think in the comments. Should I, before I get too much further into this, should I continue going? Should I change colors? Should I do it as charted? I'm very much a rule follower. And it's rare that I change out colors. But since I changed fabric, maybe I should change. I'm not sure. I kind of like it though. It gives it a very aged look. So, I don't know. Tell me what you guys think. That is the LW Motif sampler by Samplers Not Forgotten. Okay, another one that I have been working on is, oh, I did very little work on this. I did do some work, but not a whole lot, is Faith of the Heart by Brenda Gervais. This one I started ages ago and put it back and kind of forgot about it for a while. I had, this particular piece calls for some Valdani thread floss. And I'm not a huge fan of Valdani. I have learned I just have to work in shorter lengths of thread, because for me it fuzzes up, and I don't know if it's just the way I stitch, but to me it fuzzes up and it weakens the thread, the fibers. It weakens them, and I have actually just had it just pull apart. So I have learned to just work in smaller sections. But on this particular one, I had miscounted all of these windows, and some of my windows were off, and I had to frog some of that. And that Valdani thread just absolutely fell apart as I was trying to remove it. So it went in timeout for a long time. But I have finally rectified the problem, and I reworked the windows, and have gotten back to working on this, and I just love it. I love what it says at the bottom. Let's see it. I've lost my cover sheet. I think it says, God finds a low branch for the bird that cannot fly. I think that's the wording on it, and I just love that. So this one's back out, and I will be working on it a little bit more in the next little bit. Another one that, now some of these are my stitch 10. The LW motif, I think, is in my stitch 10. I want to say the Faith of the Heart is in my stitch 10. I'm not real sure. This is definitely in my stitch 10, and here again, I've only done a little bit on it, but I have made a little bit of progress. And this is the Mary Be Old Christmas Stockings. This one is number 7, I think. And so the last time I showed you, I don't think I had all of the verse done. And I don't think this is all the verse. I think there's more verse up top, but this is the bottom part of the verse. And so it's beginning to, you can kind of see the shape of the stocking taking place now. So I just love Mary Beale stockings. Love them, love them, love them. So I'm going to be excited to work on that again a little bit this week. One that I just started, I've had it for a long time, and I've had it kitted for a while, and I don't know why I haven't started it, because I don't have a problem with starting things before I finish something else. That is never a problem for me. So I started Martha Pudsey from the Scarlet House. Another one that I love. As y'all know, I like the big pieces. I don't know, I'm just drawn to the big pieces. So far, all I really have done is the border. I am stitching this on 36 count ale, and I have a big old piece. I think I have a 1 yard piece here, and I have not cut it down yet. So there is the border that I have started. That's all I've started. But I wanted to show that to y'all and say, cheer me on. I only have 15 big projects going on, but that's okay. All this talk about Dutch Beauty that people are doing, oh, it's making me want to. I've got that one. I don't know if I have it fully kitted. I think I have it partially kitted up, but I'm wanting to start that one too. And of course, I also got, oh, what's the name of it? Consider the Lilies. I got that at market to go with His Eye is on the Sparrow that I still haven't finished either. But I will, and I will enjoy working on them. Do I have anything else sitting here? I don't think well, maybe one more. This is very appropriate for the times right now, I think. To me, it's a fall piece, but it's never out of season. This is a little silk gauze piece by Erica Michaels called Always Thankful. Let's see if I can find a piece of paper to put behind this, because it's silk gauze and you can see right through it. So I don't have very much done on it, but this is my first time working with silk gauze, and it's not been as hard as I thought it would be. It's fun. Do I have that showing the right way? I think I do. You can see lots of little tails, but this is going to be a full coverage. So all those tails will be covered up. But did I show that to you? I don't think I did. So there is always, always, always something to be thankful for. And that is so true. Important for us to remember right now. Okay, this is going to be a little shorter than normal. Like I say, because I just wanted to do this real quick before I left, just to kind of show you that I am alive, and I have been doing a little bit, although not a ton, but I have been working a little bit. So it's good to talk to you guys again. I just went, yesterday we had our first church service. We met at one of the, someone from our congregation owns a farm. It's a beautiful place, and we have church barbecues and picnics there a couple of times a year, and so he opened it up for our worship service yesterday. So it was our first time to gather together, and we were all in our chairs sitting with families, sitting the appropriate distances apart, and we didn't stay in fellowship afterwards, but it was so good to see my friends again, and to be able to worship together and sing together, and it was such a good day, such a good day. I saw friends that I haven't seen in way too long, and it did my heart good. So I hope that you are able to reconnect slowly with some of the ones that you've been missing during this time. I'm hoping this won't last much longer, and you can reconnect with those that you love and miss. And I'm going to head to work. I hope you have a great day, and I hope to see you soon. Bye for now.